Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today, episode 6 of Is It Woke? That's right, it's been a month. I found a very good movie to use for this, and you saw it on the thumbnail. That's right, today, at the Place to Be Reviews, we will be telling yous if Knives Out is woke or not. Now, let's get into this video. Roundhead, take it away.
I don't know if I should say this or not.
Monkeys, roll the footage. There, I did it.
That's right, folks. Today we're looking at the 2019 motion picture Knives Out, written and directed by Rian Johnson. I am going to let you know definitively if this movie is woke or if it is not woke. Let's get into it, shall we? Upon first glance, this movie looks like nothing more than a modern, stylized version of the classic motion picture Clue. But when you dive into the subplot of this movie, there is actually a lot more at work behind the scenes than just Clue. The way I looked at this movie was this. It was basically a story about an immigrant girl, or as the term goes, she's a dreamer, who was working for Christopher Plummer's character, Harlan Thrombey. Now, the family dynamic of this is that of a very rich and entitled family. The dynamic is the patriarch, Thrombey, meets his demise. It's under mysterious circumstances, which brings in Daniel Craig's character, Benoit Blanc. Now, this cast was really wonderful, and everybody played their part well. You had the grandson, who was the quote-unquote alt-right troll. You had the other granddaughter, who is a very, very leftist, liberal-type college student as well. Then you have Toni Collette's character, who is kind of like the free spirit, or almost like the hippie-esque character, who is kind of a clinger onto the family because her husband, who was a member of the family, had passed away. Then you have Michael Shannon's character, who runs the publishing house for his father, Harlan Thrombey, and he has never built anything of his own. He's just kind of been the keeper of the Thrombey name and the publishing company. So Don Johnson, Jamie Lee Curtis's characters. Jamie Lee Curtis is a very successful independent businesswoman. She's married to Don Johnson's character, who kind of clings to her success a bit, but therein lies the problem, as he is a philanderer. Then you have the character Ransom, played by Chris Evans. Now, he is Don Johnson and Jamie Lee Curtis's son in this. Never worked, always just kind of been the rich, entitled, spoiled little brat, and it's carried into his adult life, and he gets cut out of the will completely. The reading of the will goes awry due to the fact that everything is left to Ana de Armas's character, whose name is Marta Cabrera, and she gets the entire estate left to her, the publishing company, the house, all of his assets, which sends the family into a rage, which is very ironic considering the fact that most of them were touting that she was the family of immigrants and how successful and how hardworking she was. Well, as far as success goes, she's a hardworking, very dedicated, very good person. So as they were all on her side before, as soon as the family's money is left to her, they all turn on her on the drop of a dime. So here you have this family who has welcomed this girl into their home, basically made her a part of their family because of the good and the care that she provides to Harlan. And as soon as the will is read and it is found that she has been the sole benefactor of Harlan's entire estate, the true personalities of these characters truly shine through and show that she was only a means to an end, a matter of conveyance, to take the load off their hands so they didn't have to take care of Harlan, and she would be left to do all the heavy lifting. Some people are probably thinking, why is this Rian Johnson movie on your list of Is It Woke? Well, that's because Rian Johnson has a penchant for making identity politics and politics in general part of the business of his filmmaking as of late, starting with The Last Jedi in 2017 and the ensuing Twitter storm that followed, which I will not go into because, well, let's face it, we all know what Rian Johnson's like on Twitter, right? So the majority of the moments in this movie that could be construed as woke basically come from the family's granddaughter, who's played by Catherine Langford. Now, she is a very, as I said earlier, a very leftist college student, which is a direct counterpart to Michael Shannon's son, who is considered the, quote, alt-right troll in this movie. So those two have their back and forth moments, and it's definitely not as skewered as I would have thought it would be, coming from Rian Johnson, who we all know, based, like I said, on his Twitter, where his political leanings are. And that notwithstanding, this movie was pretty well balanced out in all these parts. Even though they did take shots at the president, still, it all kind of balanced out and worked together pretty well as a dynamic. And then the rest of it defaulted back to the American entitlement of the rich family versus the immigrant who took the entire family's wealth, not by any nefarious means. No, it was given to her because Harlan respected her as a hardworking woman, and he respected that because he knew that she would try to build something of her own, which is why he left his estate to her as opposed to his entitled family. And as I said before, the Thrombey family really showed their true colors once that will was read and the estate was found to have been left to Marta, because then they really kind of let her know how they truly felt about her. They were very warm and caring towards her when she was just the help. But once all of that money and all of that fortune went to her and the house, they freaked out. She was the enemy, and they basically all came after her and tried to convince her to give it back. Michael Shannon took a trip to where her and her mother and sister lived and tried to threaten her mom, threaten Marta to have her mom deported because they knew that she had come here illegally, because Marta was a dreamer, which they made abundantly clear in the movie. But as I said, it was not really a ham-fisted, politically charged movie. No, the murder mystery aspect of this movie really took center stage, along with, of course, Daniel Craig's horrible accent, which I will give Rian Johnson credit for this. He was very meta about it with Chris Evans' character Ransom, because even Ransom, there's a point in the movie where he takes a shot at how bad Daniel Craig's accent is in this. So, like I said, it was a very meta moment in the movie, and it did have a lot of high spots and a lot of spots where I was laughing, and I had to really kind of check myself and be like, God, are you really laughing this hard at a Rian Johnson movie? Because I've seen Looper and I hated it. The Last Jedi we're not going to talk about, but was this movie really woke? Let's get into it right now. So sometimes these videos are very easy for me to do. It's easy to spot things that are woke without looking for a dog whistle, which I think this might be the case with this movie. The fact that I'm doing Knives Out, it's by Rian Johnson, might be that dog whistle that some of these folks in the fandom menace hear when they think about this movie is, oh my God, it's Rian Johnson. I have to take everything into consideration because I don't want to just lean one way with my coverage of these. I have to consider all the major characters who would play factors into making this woke or not woke. So, without further ado, ladies and gents, is it woke? Is it not woke? That is the question. Well, my friends, allow me to keep you in suspense no longer, because here is my verdict. I do not think this movie was woke for the simple fact that it was more entertaining than anything else. If you're looking to come into this movie and get mad at Rian Johnson for The Last Jedi all over again, I really don't think it's the movie for you, and it's not woke. It simply isn't. Like I said, I believe the whole thing was handled very well. Marta's character was very well fleshed out and developed. Her dynamic with Daniel Craig's Benoit Blanc was good, and the family's dynamic with her. The actors in this and actresses did an excellent job of translating this screenplay, which I'm sure it wasn't a first draft like The Last Jedi was. So, unfortunately, I do have to give Rian Johnson credit for this one.
Oh no!
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It's not woke. Not one I'll buy or watch again, but it was definitely worth a one-time watch, and I enjoyed it. So that's that. I sincerely hope you enjoyed episode 6 of Is It Woke? Now it is time. Let's take this thing home, shall we? Here's where you can find us all across social media at TB2BR on Instagram, the Place to Be Reviews page on Facebook, the official Place to Be Reviews fan page, that's our private group, at the Place to Be RE1, at N80 Pete on Twitter, past podcast available on Anchor, iTunes, and Spotify, and now the Place to Be Reviews on Discord. You can also email us if you're old-fashioned, okay boomer, at theplacetobereviews at mail.com, the world's best mail. Thank you very much. Also, on the way out, don't forget to bitch slap that like button. Do me that big solid, would ya? Yeah, I think you can do that. Also, hail the Fandom Menace. Hail to thee, my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Help us grow the channel. Hail the Fandom Collective, a group which we are proud members of now. We'll be working with them on a lot of collaborations in the near future. And I'd like to personally thank you all for joining the Place to Be Reviews. That's right, I'm Tepakuian of the Place to Be Reviews right here with all yous. Remember, if I don't see you, have a great day and a pleasant tomorrow.